Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully, everybody's doing fine. Hopefully, everybody is doing okay. So, I wanted to sort of talk about I'm sorry guys, I'm beat today. Thank you, Steve, for the early contribution. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Nakamia. I'm sorry if I'm messing up your name. So for the collection plate, thank you so much. So, I saw this clip a while back that I was gonna talk about, and I found that today was the perfect day to talk about it. I'm not gonna waste too much time. Let's take a look. And I just want you to listen to this woman's story. How she knew her marriage wasn't gonna last. And today, before we really go into it, I sort of wanted to talk to the ladies about breaking your relationships, breaking your marriages, and why did you break it? Like, when I open the line, if you are a woman that says you're no longer married or no longer with a man because he was too controlling or any of that, I'd like to hear from y'all. I want to hear from y'all. I want to hear what was he doing that was so controlling and that you could not tolerate it and that y'all couldn't get over it. Anyway.
I think I knew that the marriage is not gonna last 6 months into the marriage. So I was feeling a little bit imprisoned in my marriage. So I was married to someone who had gone to the length of saying, you can't talk to this person like this. Why is this guy sending you this emoji? Remember, I come from a relationship where freedom was
nice.
I have a lot of male friends. He didn't understand that. That made him uncomfortable because in his head, I believe he thought that every guy that I'm talking to, I'm banging. And that made me feel like, is that what you think of your wife? You think I'm like
Easy.
that, you know?
Right.
So One particular day, I'm driving back from work and I'm feeling like, no, man, this doesn't feel right. And I missed my ex at that moment. I called my ex and I think I knew that they called my ex. And lucky enough for me, he didn't pick up. Ka WhatsApp. I leave that. I'm not thinking. I'm in my own space.
Yes.
I sleep, get home. I'm woken up, got such a big.
What
What the heck? Obviously, I'm sleeping and I'm thinking, dude, like,
it's whatever AM.
what's going on? And this time we are at his parents' house. Remember, we had moved to his parents' house.
Yes.
Um, we had a quarrel for why are you speaking to your ex? How can you do that to me? We are not even 6 months in marriage, you're already cheating. So I was labeled a cheater from that on.
Okay.
So you can imagine the troubles that came after that. He even went back to the pastor that married us and told him Horbutulo is a cheater.
Were you cheating though?
No. Called my ex. And
So y'all heard that foolishness. Y'all heard that. Y'all heard that. The first thing that she does is the whole he was controlling my husband is no good, all of this type of stuff. All that is the justification in their mind to do the things that they wanted to do anyway. She wanted be for the streets. I'm gonna tell you why these chicks get married. I'm gonna tell you why these types of chicks get married. These types of chicks that's on that video get married because they want a sponsor. They want the security. I put this question up there so I can come back to it and really read it all. But in any case, they want to get the security from the man. They want bills paid, they want, mortgage or rent paid, they want stability, they want a guy, they want a safety net with a penis. And so they will play in your face. Just like I was talking about the lady that was on Kendra G. She want to play in somebody's face. And she just as much said it. Y'all want to play in your face, act like I'm going to be this wife that you want, and we'll see how that works out. Knowing full and well that she'll play a game as long as she's getting what she thinks she should be getting or think that she want to get out of the situation. Once she's no longer benefiting in the way that she wants to benefit, or she's tired of it, or whatever the case may be, she's going to flip-flop like she did in the first place. I mean, she's not going to change. Some of y'all said y'all missed the clip. Y'all want me to run it back? Put a 1 in the chat if you absolutely need me to run that clip back. Okay. I'm going to still keep this up because I'm not going to be able to find this comment again. Let me read it. Crimson, I have a serious question. How do you have knowledge speak so intelligently on such a wide range of topics? Was it an organized, intentional effort or just an accumulation of knowledge over time? Accumulation of knowledge over time. Being around certain people, be they high or low, people who make mistakes, people who are successful in their life, people not as successful in their life. And when I say successful, I mean both financially, spiritually. People can be, at any point in life. I don't really discriminate on who I glean knowledge from. It can even be the knowledge of what not to do, right? My whole childhood was a lesson in what not to do. What please don't do this. Cuz this is not good. You're going to end up like that. So please do not follow this example. Talk to people. When I was younger, I was more of a reader than I am now. Um and just I think being able to sort of put my mind in different spaces. I don't know if that makes sense. Empathy, but not sympathy. Empathy for people from the standpoint of literally sort of being able to see the world from their perspective, see the world from their standpoint. See, I like to understand what make people tick. I like to understand why they think the way they do, even if I don't agree. Almost especially if I don't agree. Like I want to know why. Why do you think that? I'm definitely introverted. But um so this is actually in reality me being forward like this on the stage. This is against this is against actually who I am in real life. Like I'm introverted. I don't really like to have social interactions. They give me anxiety a lot of times. More often than not, I get anxiety. But but mostly I don't attribute whatever it is I think I know. I don't attribute that to me. I attribute that to the Most High and me just asking for guidance in different things. I want to know. I want to know the truth. I want to know, like I want to know. I just want to know. And so because I've always wanted to know, I, the Most High give it to me. He give me what I be wanting to know. And sometimes once you get it, you be like, I ain't want to know that information. Oh yes, you did. You study asking. So now you got it. So now I don't want to hear nothing, no belly aching about what you wanted to know. You wanted to know, then you want to peek behind the curtain. So go ahead. So you're not always gonna like that. Go ahead, peek behind the curtain. So um I guess I always wanted to be wise. So my Muslim name is Hakima because I wanted to be wise, not because I thought I was wise. Hakim uh, is wise or wisdom or the wise one, and it's one of Allah's attributes, Hakim. So I wanted to be wise. When I chose that name, I didn't choose it because I already thought I was wise. It was something I aspired to. I wanted to live up to my name. I would never be so presumptuous as to say that I did live up to it because I don't think that I did. I don't know half of what I think I know. But let me run this clip back. Somebody said we need to run the clip back. So we're gonna run it back.
I think I knew that the marriage is not gonna last 6 months into the marriage. So I was feeling a little bit imprisoned in my marriage. So I was married to someone who had gone to the length of saying you can't talk to this person like this. Why is this guy sending you this emoji? Remember, I come from a relationship where freedom was,
nice.
I have a lot of male friends. He didn't understand that. That made him uncomfortable because in his head, I believe he thought that every guy that I'm talking to, I'm banging. And that made me feel like, is that what you think of your wife? You think I'm like that,
Easy.
you know?
Right.
So one particular day I'm driving back from work and I'm feeling like no, man, this doesn't feel right. And I missed my ex at that moment. I called my ex, and I think and lucky enough for me, he didn't pick up. Ka WhatsApp. I leave that. I'm not thinking. I'm in my own space.
Yes.
I sleep, get home. I'm woken up, got such a big.
Wena.
What the heck? Obviously, I'm sleeping and I'm thinking, dude, like,
It's whatever AM.
what's going on? And this time we are at his parents' house. Remember, we had moved to his parents' house.
Yes.
We had a quarrel. For why are you speaking to your ex? How can you do that to me? We are not even 6 months in marriage, you're already cheating. So I was labeled a cheater from that on.
Okay.
So you can imagine the troubles that came after that. He even went back to the pastor that married us and told him Horbutulo is a cheater.
Were you cheating though?
No. Called my ex. And
So that was the clip. Okay. Where do we begin? Where do we begin? She starts off, and it's always cap. It's always cap. Having a whole bunch of male friends while you are in a committed relationship is a red flag. And women like to think that it's not. That they can have their so-called platonic male friends and they man not supposed to think nothing about it. Now, if you got, I guess, one from way from childhood, I don't know. Maybe there can be exceptions to this. Maybe one, but when I say male friends, I don't mean any male that's around you. I mean having a gang, them your buddies. Them your buddies. That's your social circle is a bunch of other dudes. How that's your social circle? A bunch of men. And you kiki on the phone, or you want to go to lunch, or you want to whatever. You got all this contact that you keep with this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy. And other men or your man isn't supposed to think nothing. I'm going to tell you why they think something. The main reason why men think something is up when you constantly have these, it could even be 2 or 3, or whatever, and you in constant contact with these men for whatever reason. If you're not doing actual business with these men, if these men are not just like incidental, they happen to be your co-worker, they happen to be, people that's around, because men is in the world. You know what I'm saying? Men is in the world. So we're not going to act like we're not ever going to encounter other men. But when you got these orbiting dudes that you ain't really got no reason to really be talking to them, y'all are not business partners. Y'all are not doing business. Y'all not making money. Y'all not. So what's the point? What's the point of constantly kikiing, he-heeing, calling, texting, meeting up for a drink, going to Starbucks, or whatever. Whatever. It don't matter. That stuff is a red flag. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You might like your male friends. You might never have done nothing with that friend. You might never have done nothing with him. And you truly might never have done nothing with him. But he can't be around. He can't be around. He can't be around. Just like you don't want your husband to have a whole bunch of female friends, because he gonna hit them. There is no platonic. If it's the same thing, y'all think it's a red flag. So why come you don't think when men see this behavior coming from you that they don't think it is also a red flag? Because he knows what he did when he was a friend. He know what he did, or at least what he wanted to do. Whether he succeeded in it or not. If he was ever any chick's friend, he know what that means. So you can't be like, oh, these just my friends. Really? So she wanted to act like her husband was out of bounds by being suspicious about why does she have all of this contact with all of these dudes. This one over here, that one over there. No real reason to be in contact with them. Y'all kicking it. You can't kick it. You can't kick it. I don't have no male friends I kick it with. I don't have no men. None. I don't have no men that I kicks it with at all. If a man is in this house that's not my husband and we kicking it, that's my brother. And I don't mean my play brother. I mean my real life flesh and blood, my older brother. So y'all know it's a red flag. But then she act like the reason why I'm kind of drilling, she wanted it to act like her husband was out of bounds is because she proved him right. He was suspicious about her intent and her motives for having all these dudes around in her phone and all of this other kind. Like, I ain't got men in my phone. Like, they not even in my phone. What is y'all doing? Y'all the same chicks that go through a phone and swear to God that he doing something foul because there's a name in there you don't recognize. And it might be a feminine name. She tried to act like he was crazy or that he was on some sleeping with the enemy type. We're going to not have you to communicate with anybody. And I told y'all about these words, how hyenas tell stories, because she was like, he was saying I couldn't have friends. Like I couldn't talk to these people like this. Who are these people? Probably the men. Probably the men that you got in your phone, that you texting through WhatsApp. See, that's even more suspicious. Like all of it, you could throw all of it in the garbage. But when you got different dudes through social media outlets as well as in your phone, in like your matter of fact, it's worse to have the dudes on the various little apps than it is to have them in your contact in your phone. And the reason being is because you really being sneaky in, because you hoping that if he get your phone, he don't actually go into these other apps to see you messaging this one on Instagram, you messaging that one on Facebook, you got a, you know what I'm saying, a video call on WhatsApp that happened a week ago, and all of this other type of stuff. Like, you're hoping that he doesn't dig as far as to go into the various apps and things of that nature so that you can be messaging these different men. So you message the men, but none of that ever show up in your text, your actual text messages that's on your phone, because that's not the medium through which you are communicating with these men. So it's actually worse than having them in your actual phone. Because see, if he's in your actual phone, then we can pull up your whole conversation. Please God, don't have an iPhone. All your conversations from when you done transferred over from when you had a Nokia is on your iPhone. I don't know. Every communication you have ever had in your entire life that went over a digital current is sitting on your iPhone, whether you had an iPhone or not. Okay. I'm a little slow getting to the point today. It's because I'm tired. So my apologies for that. But y'all, he sees these men as red flag for the same reason y'all want to go through these men phone. Let me talk a little bit about going through these men phone. That is also a smoke screen so that you can do what you want to do, which is cheat. See, thoughts always have to have the reason that they cheat, right? They always got to have the he cheated first, or he broke my heart, or he had all these women anyway, so or he was controlling in this case, and I was smothered in my relationship. Instead of having a conversation with your husband about things that you may be uncomfortable with within your relationship, she immediately was like, so one day I was feeling like this is not it. She was in her bag, thinking about all of the negativity, not thinking about any of the positivity of her relationship, none of that. Thinking of all of the negativity in the relationship. So then she got in her bag, and then she got on the phone with her ex. Why is he still on tap in your phone? Why is he still on tap on your phone? Why? You should not be able to even contact your ex. Why they not on block? You know what you got to do to dig up a ex's phone number? Once I done blocked you, more so than the block on the phone is the block in your mind, the block in your heart. That's the true block. I watched a video that I think some people took the wrong way, but it was a lioness really talking. And It was a woman, and she said that one day her husband asked her, "Could you ever cheat on me?" And she said, "I was honest." I told him, "Could I cheat on you? Is it could? Like, is there a technical possibility that there's a way in which I could perform cheating on you? Absolutely. Do I want to cheat on you? No. Am I going to cheat, or have I ever cheated? No." And she said some key things, which I agree with. Everybody can technically do it. I mean, the capacity is there, technically, I guess. But not having the opportunity to do so is not what stops you from cheating on your husband. It's not a lack of opportunity. We can honestly say that you not cheating when there is absolutely an opportunity for you to do so, and you actively and purposely do not take up on that at all. You purposely don't. Could I reach out and find some guy to reach out to that would be completely receptive to me? Of course. Of course I could. Just like he could go and reach out to some woman that would be perfectly receptible to everything that he do. It's not about not having the opportunity or the capacity to do it. It's about, first of all, having the love, having the respect, having the loyalty, having the honesty, having the integrity to simply not do that, especially with women. And I'm saying especially with women because I'm talking to women. Because when you really actually love your husband, you do not, there is no bone in your body. Let me break down some lioness secrets for you, because we always busting open hyena secrets. Let me bust open a lioness secret. When you actually love, respect, honor, cherish your husband, there is not a bone in your body, real or imagined, whole or broken. There is not a brain cell in your head that conjures any real thoughts of wanting another man to conquer you. You don't want it. Because the truth be told, lionesses have some of the most opportunities to cheat, because we lionesses. Men see the value, men see the femininity, men see all of that stuff, and they covet it. They want it for themselves. Among other reasons the lionesses don't cheat is because it would take our lioness status away from us. Lionesses don't cheat. Because if we cheated, we wouldn't be lionesses. Because we wouldn't be honest or have any integrity, or we wouldn't be able to stand on those principles anymore. We wouldn't be able to stand on those things. I can't come nowhere and say I'm honest and I'm loyal, and we can't say that anymore, because you were disloyal to the highest degree. You were disloyal, you were dishonest, and among all things, other things, you made yourself emotionally and sexually available to some other man aside from your husband, and how you cannot maintain your lioness status with that. It's unconscionable. The best thing to do is to hash out any issues within your marriage that's making you feel like you're not sexy, or you're making you feel like you know what I'm saying, or whatever it is that you're feeling, if those are negative feelings, then you need to be able to sit with your husband and have these conversations. And it might be tough conversations. You might have some trouble maybe making him understand what it is that you're feeling and the things that, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and things of that nature. We try to talk these things out. We try to communicate about any lacking in our relationships, if our emotional needs are not being met or our sexual needs are not being met and things of that nature. Lionesses do make serious attempts to talk to your husband about these issues. Like, I'm having a problem, babe. Like, listen, you know, if you have a lion, he should be willing to sit down with you, listen to the concerns, and see what he can do to address the concerns. He may reveal something to you that you didn't think about, or, you know, he might agree, yeah, you know, I don't do such and such anymore. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why this doesn't happen. And together, lots of times you guys can come up with um a plan of action that can be done. These are the things that we can do to better address each other's needs. We can better address each other's needs. Am I talking too much in this strain? That's a lioness secret. We don't ever want to. I don't want to be conquered by another man. I don't want to be sexually available. I don't want to be emotionally available, not on any romantic level. I don't want to be emotionally available. I don't want to. We're not looking as a lioness. We're not looking for outside male validation. Eh, we try our best to choose lions that will give us that. Just give it to me. Well, I don't want. That's the whole purpose of being lioness. I don't want to go out there and have to get it by hook or by crook. Why would I want to? Because lionesses don't just screw to be screwing. That's the other thing. Now, don't let it confuse you. We can be the hottest thing to trot now, man. That thing be hotter than wired up 6-shooter, baby. And don't, so please don't get that confused. However, hot or not, no matter how hot it is, we don't just get with men just to get the sex from them. It's not transactional to us. It's not transactional to us. We be looking for the substance. The substance that hyenas throw away is the substance that feeds and nurtures and supports and helps a lioness to thrive. We can't. I hope I'm not speaking for myself. The lionesses is with me. Because I know personally, I can't like just constantly the transaction, just the sex, because it's like it's important. I like sex. I really do. But I swear to you, it's not. Uh, I cannot. Man shall not live by bread alone. You cannot just give me eggplant. I don't. Because after a while, I don't want it. After a while, I don't want it. I don't want that. I don't even want it. I don't care how good it was. I don't want it. I don't want that. Don't touch me. Because, listen, because it's not a transaction. For the lioness, it is not a transaction. We be trying to actually get from men what men do, not just how they have sex. We like that the procreation is fine. We like all four of the P's. Now, but we actually do be wanting the other three of them. I don't want to be with no man that I can't get his masculine light from. Like, how does that work? I can't get no masculine light out of you. You don't give me none. And see, for a lioness, we gonna pull it out of you. That's the other thing. That's the other thing. Even if we were to get into a situation that was kind of like a situationship, not a relationship, he gonna want to give us some other forms of them P's because we lionesses. So he gonna want to give, like, okay, well, what else can I do? Because we just can't do it. Okay, we just can't really do that. We just can't really do it. We can't really delve into the whole world and the transaction world. And that's why I be saying what I be saying. If a woman is real deep into that whole world, sex working world, for years she been in the transaction, there's no way that's a lioness. There's no way that's a lioness. That is a hyena through and through. Because we as lionesses, as the coalition of lionesses, we absolutely not. We cannot. Years? Just a transaction? Nothing else. I don't get protection. I don't get no problem solved. I don't get no masculine light. I don't get no affection. I don't go just dropping D off. I don't do that. I mean, I like D as well as the next woman. We ain't gonna say that, go that far. But I'm just saying, I like the other, I like the other stuff. I like side dishes with the meal. You don't just hand me no plate of meat. You don't give me no broccoli or nothing. You ain't gonna give me no carrot or nothing. You just gonna set the meat down now. I don't want that. I'm gonna get to these super chats, but Miss Celine, you better talk. You better talk. We can't even get hot. Do you understand this? With a man that ain't no masculine qualities and lion qualities outside. Hey. You don't have to miss me with this. Because this is absolutely... So you just gonna hand me a plate of meat. I don't get no water. You ain't got even so much as peas and carrots to the side. You didn't think enough of me to, saute up some peppers or something. You get that out of here. I don't want that. I don't want that. She showed enough a hyena. She been hoeing for years. I don't want to hear that. I can't, change you. You can't change your way. Only thing you can do, the best you can do is close your legs finally. Finally. I'm late. I am so, I forgot this was supposed to be a call-in show. Let me just say that. Let me be real with you. I'm going to keep it a bean. I straight forgot that I was supposed to take a call in. But what I didn't forget is after these messages, we'll be right back. And I need somebody to go ahead and put the link into the chat for me. Go ahead and put the link for Ash Kicking Go ahead and put that link in the chat for me. Thank you so much, Miss Nicole. Miss Nicole be on it. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate you, because what you want to do is you want to go to ashkicking.com and keep your skin looking its absolute best. And if this is your first purchase, you're going to get a 10% off discount using the promo code Crimson. And if you've never ordered from them before, you definitely can look forward to some really awesome packaging. Sometimes it's hard for me to deal with these nails with this box. Hold on. But you're going to receive some really, really wonderfully branded. I love this packaging. I'm gonna try not to show y'all the packaging every single time, but I can't make a promise on that, because it's so beautiful and consistent. Black and red, that's my colors right there, because it's elegant to me. And I like the way that it's shrunk wrap. So, you just can't, everybody ain't been digging in it before you got it. It smells wonderful. The body butter itself is very smooth. It's very creamy. It glides on smoothly. It absorbs quickly, and it's not greasy. Because, sometimes you can buy body butters and they're whipped or whatever, and it's too oily. This is not so at all. ashkicking.com, they are doing their thing over there. So you definitely want to go to ashkicking.com. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Get your order of body butter, and please don't believe that they stopped there, because they've even got some aluminum free deodorant for those of us who are aware not to put those metals and things like that, different things that are in commercial deodorant. I find it a personal preference to get aluminum free. So definitely this is something that you want to get if you're interested in aluminum free and just good quality deodorant, good quality, right? And of course, you've got your lip balm. See how pretty that is? I won't open these things, mainly because I want to keep showing them off, so I won't open them. And then you've got the face moisturizer, but I'm going to, because I want to try them, because I'm glad that they have a moisturizer that is for your face specifically, because a lot of times the butter is too heavy for some of our skin types and faces and things of that nature. Sometimes butter, it moisturizing everything, but it's not quite the best for your face. And so a lighter oil type is sometimes best to moisturize your face. So they have a wide range of products that you definitely want to check out. Go to ashkicking.com once again, get your order. You'll have some beautifully packaged and wonderfully made things sent to you. I don't know how many likes we need, but I owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button, bam, bam. You gotta Has someone ever figured out what's the balloons and the thumbs about? Because I have actually tried to look that up and see if that's a new thing that YouTube has. And I don't see it I don't even see the possibility to do that on anybody's channel. So I don't know where that comes from. If anybody knows where that comes from, put it in the chat or even email me with the information, because they've been doing it for I want to say 2-3 months now, and it's okay. Let me get to these super chats. Thank you. Utan said, good evening, Sister Davis. First super chat of the year. On many of your videos, you mentioned the term black male agency. Please explain to me what black male agency means. Can we put a take a rain check on that? on black male agency, just because that's a different conversation. And I also will say this: I think more of an authority on that is probably like Dr. Tiasan Johnson would be more of an authority on defining and really going into the depths of black male agency. But thank you so much. Thank you, Sivan. Said, hey, Kendra, just paying some past dues. Keep cooking these hyenas. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mikhail. So your growth mindset allows you to almost quantum leap and see things from others' perspectives. I appreciate that. Thank you, Skinny Boy. Say, hey, Crimson Knights, Dee just had a powerful and heated debate on her channel to start the year. Everyone should go check it out after the show. I like Dee, so I might go check that out. Thank you, Miss Kelly. Says, showing love, sis. Thanks for all that you do. And thank you so much for your support, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you, Charles Key said, if I don't know him, my lady can't talk to him. And that's at least your man should like know this guy. This is just a strange guy that kind of comes around surfaces. That's even more suspicious. So like, I mean, I can't think of none right now, but I'm assuming that there are some exceptions to this rule, but they're probably very few, and under very certain types of circumstances. And just generally, all these guys hovering around, that's gonna be a no. Thank you, Gabriel. Said off topic, Lil James and his mom not too long ago did a sit down with the dude. It's disturbing what James is saying, but it proves the son husband epidemic. All I could think of was you breaking it down. Somebody send it to me. I would like to see that. Thank you so much, because that will be interesting. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Enigma, saying expert treatise on the difference between women and Jezebel. Talk to him, sis. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Thank you so much, Miss Celine. I read yours, but thank you once again, sweetheart. And thank you, International Quiet Song. Say Crimson, a Bulls fan. Shout out to the Black and Red. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Having contact with your exes is out. That's out. That's completely out. That's completely out. When I say exception, I'm thinking of something like, this man that knew you from when y'all was knee high to a duck. Y'all grew up together in the same house. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Just technically he not your blood brother, but there's no way y'all would see each other any other way than brother, sister. Y'all been knowing each other for the duration of your whole entire life, might be 30-something years. I don't expect that you would just cut ties with him completely. That's the only thing that I can kind of come close to. That's the only thing that I can even remotely think that might be an exception, and that's not even 100%. Exes is out. Your exes. Just contact with your exes for no reason. Mm-mm. If you have an ex-husband that you have children with, let me drop something else on you. If you have children or a child with a man, your husband got to deal with that man, not you. Not you. Make sure and be at the point of meetup when the kids are to be picked up, dropped off, you know what I'm saying, for weekends or whatever the time is for visiting with the father and things in that nature. He discusses with the father um, anything that needs to be discussed with the children about the children, because your husband and the father of your child, we ain't even gonna say baby daddies because these women should not even be getting married. You know what? Still early 2024, so we can't do that. Okay. Let's say you had one child, or let's say you had children from a previous marriage, right? Then he's going to have to deal with him. And it's a good idea for the husband to get to know the father anyway and open up that line of communication if, in fact, he's going to marry you and you have children that are young enough that the father has to contact a parent in order to deal with the children. You should deal with the men. Let the men deal with each other. That way, there's no cross contact, back contact, back chat talking. There's nothing for you and that man to discuss. Nothing at all. Let your husband talk to the man. Him and that father of the child can create a rapport with one another. They ain't got to be best friends. It's not necessary. Create a rapport, and they may become friends. Men are typically not as petty as females, so they might actually like each other. And that way, every time that something with the kids comes up, that father is calling that man, not you. He's not texting you. He's not trying to figure out nothing from you. All the information, all the plans, all the organization, all of that, go through your husband. All of it, every last bit of it, because he's there to father the child, not still contact you. And if any woman got an issue with that, then why you trying to talk to your baby daddy in the first place? Because half of y'all, the way y'all act, y'all hate the baby daddy anyway, right? Y'all don't like him. He a dirty dog. Okay, fine, good. That means you'll never got to talk to him no more. Just because you got kids with him don't mean you have to communicate with him on any type of regular basis whatsoever. Let your husband talk to that man, because any father would want to know what man his children are now living with if, in fact, you have custody or even 50-50 custody. He should want to know, who is that man? What is this man capable of? And if something happened with my kids, can I put this one in a chokehold? You understand? Can I put him in a chokehold, or do I gotta come with that burner to make him understand? Because I need to know. I need to know what kind of, because if he ain't right, matter of fact, joint custody not about to work. I'm about to go to court and get full custody of mine, because no sir. You want to fool with this idiot, you go right ahead, but my children will not be a casualty of war. Thank you and good night. But y'all don't be liking to let the men handle business, because the men are going to do that without the emotional tie. And you know what? We used to be together. None of that. No, your baby daddy won't be able to throw up things in memory lane. And remember when we used to shit. I mean, you don't have to remember nothing. We don't remember nothing. See, a man have to talk straight with another man. You understand what I'm saying? Man got to talk straight with another man. And if the two men have respect for one another's manhood, just in general, they will communicate properly up until in whatever fashion is necessary to get this organized and to get it done. So I don't know if there's a lot of people who agree with this or not, but that's my take on it. Let the men deal with each other. I found that in instances where I've seen where the men deal with each other, there is usually no suspicion of the mother trying to get back with the baby daddy or cheating with him or nothing like that, because she's not co-parenting. That's the thing. She ain't co-parenting with him. She just being a parent when the kids is with her, and the daddy be a parent when the kids with him. Got these exes in your phone. She jumped right and called that man. I'm sorry. You know. One of my mods copy that link because I will be asking y'all to repost it because I can only pin one thing at a time, and I want to leave Ash Kicking up there. But anybody, you got a couple of minutes if you want to hit the link, because what we're really talking about is the control. Is it controlling? If you divorced your husband or left a serious relationship because your man was controlling, I would love to hear the circumstances of that. Because we're going to have to start parsing through these buzzwords. Controlling how? So let me get with the rest of these super chats really quickly, and then we're going to start out with the sister. So let me see. Thank you, Pharaoh said, can we still send video suggestions? ABW was biting and attacking police to fight a passport, bro. That's interesting. Thank you, Lion Prince, for your super stick. I appreciate you. Thank you, Fredericks and Lil James Mama out here twerking. We did a video on her doing that. Thank you, it's a Sterling Life. So what's crazy is when you say things like that, these women try to turn it on you with you're insecure, you're emotionally immature. Yeah, we're not dealing with sign language at this point. But I'm gonna bring up the sister in the background. How you doing, Miss Francine?
Hi, Miss Kendra.
All right.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Is this something that applies to you? Did you leave a man that was controlling? Or
Unfortunately, I did, and it's the worst thing I've done.
okay.
He was really a great man, and I couldn't get it together, really. When I first met him, I didn't know anything about men. I wasn't interacting with men. I lost my parents early in life, and I was raised by my aunt, so I didn't really have males, and to be honest, I was scared of men. And I met him right after graduating from college. I went to college, got a bachelor's in nursing, so became a registered nurse. I started working 3 months, met this guy, and he kind of changed my whole thought process.
Did you meet him through work?
I did not. I met him through skating. I was really into skating heavily, and he was as well. But I had met him through that, and when I first met him, I told him I didn't want a family. I didn't look at I had the ugly girl complex, and I didn't really want to have a family. I want to kind of be married to my career as a whole. Now I look back at it, and even then, it was just like, wow, I was completely wrong and stupid, just following after the world and the
How
things of
old
the
were
world.
you, and how old was he at the time that y'all met?
I was 25, and he was 31.
How long was the relationship?
It'll be 4 years. It's 4 years now. We just ended it.
Were you married, or is it just a long-term relationship?
It was more like a long-term relationship. We were supposed to be married. We had made an oath to the Most High before the Most High. We didn't do it legally, but between us.
So you did a marriage like spiritually.
Yes.
Also, you married. I count those as marriages.
Okay.
I don't count papers.
Right. Yeah.
But so you were married. So you said
yeah.
you were 25 and he was how old?
He was 31.
Okay, not too far away in age.
Right.
Is the beautiful one the child that you had with him?
Yes.
Okay. How many children did you have with him?
Well, we just had a son, but we lost him in October. I was pregnant and had a baby, our first son, and he passed away the next day. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Those are devastating losses. And may the Most High comfort you with those.
I appreciate it.
I've had 4 miscarriages, and I didn't even see my babies, and I was hurt. So I'm sorry to hear that. But go ahead. I'm sorry. So you had a son that passed away.
Yes, he would have been 3 months this month, and then I have a 1-year-old daughter with him as well.
Okay. All right, and that's your only surviving child.
Yes.
Is the daughter. Okay. All right. And so you had a 4-year relationship. Now, what were some of the things that during the relationship, or at least the early part of it, that you was like, oh no, we're not doing none of this?
So when I first met him, I was heeding to everything he said. I listened to everything he said. I understood everything he was saying. And I was trying to move in that way and trying to be a wife to him. And he was showing me what he wanted as a man. And then I started letting my friends and older women who were married, because they were married, I thought that I should be listening to them because they have successful marriages. But it wasn't the way he was trying to guide us in our family. And so listening to those women telling me like, that's the beginning stages of a controlling man, and him not wanting you to do certain things, and that's controlling. And at the same time, I'm like, to me and him, I know that, hey, this is not controlling. But when I'm listening to these other people, now it's like when we have an argument or something, or regardless of something that I wanted to do, then I would get upset with him, and I told him it was controlling, and he would explain that, no, it's not. I'm trying to protect you and what's mine, and you are supposed to be under me and listen to me and stop listening to other people. And so that was kind of something that was contention in our relationship. And then also like communication was a huge thing. I tended to shut down a lot when he would talk to me, and because he was hard with his words, but he's a man, and again, I wasn't used to the hardness of things. But it wasn't like that in the beginning. It was just that I kept doing things which made him like come at me harder.
So what were some of the things that he was doing that when you discuss those things with other women, they would be like, no, that's wrong. He's actually being controlling. What were some examples of some of the things that he was doing?
So like, as far as me going out, like I didn't go out to like party or anything like that, but like more so going to visit people or going skating. Cause again, I met him skating. And And he was coming out of that kind of skate culture, but I was getting more into it. And he was telling me like, hey, you need to like focus more on the Most High. Like you've been spending too much time just skating and just, not with the right crowd. Because not everybody in that culture, like I was traveling to Chicago every weekend, living this skate life and getting really good and meeting people. And I had a friend who was a male and he was gay. And he insisted that I leave this dude alone. Because he felt that the dude was pretending to be gay in order to get close to me, but I didn't see it that way. And I eventually did cut the dude off because I really wanted this relationship to work. But it was things like that, and my friends would be like, how he gonna tell you, like, how is he gonna tell you not to go hang out with somebody? Like, y'all not married or nothing, because they don't see that our oath to the Most High as a marriage. They see it as the paper, the whole ceremony, all of that should be a marriage. So they didn't consider it marriage. But it's the way I was telling the stories, I guess, too. And people were more on my side. Even when I started telling like, hey, these are things that I'm doing, they're still like, no, he's controlling. Like, I know it's me. Like, I just want other young women to know that the men are trying to protect you when they instill like this order and this structure. And honestly, his order and structure was killing me. It was hard. He wanted things done a certain way. And over time, I started to get better at that and learning him and knowing things. He would comment on it and it made me feel good. But then there were still other things. Also, lying was a huge thing in our relationship. I would lie about a lot of small stuff. And he felt like if I was lying about the small stuff, I would be lying about the big stuff as well. And so he would think that I'm cheating on him, and he was the only guy I was with. Like, I was a virgin when I met him, and I never saw myself ever being with another man. But I don't know why I couldn't get it together with him. I would tell him to move on when I got pregnant, and it eventually he did, and it hurt me to my core. And then
when you say told him to move on, what does that mean? Like leave, or what does that mean?
Because we were living apart for the longest time. We were moving for the longest time. We were living separate, and so I was just coming over there and like staying over there with him. And so
I cut out. Could you go back just a minute just start that over for me, because I cut out and couldn't hear you.
Yes. So we were living apart. But we were still like in the same kind of city. So I would come and stay there. And I'm sorry, I forgot the question.
I was asking, what does move on mean when you say?
Oh, okay. So moving on, like I wanted him to find, because he would always tell me I could find somebody else. I don't want to, but I can. And that would like make me so upset when he would say that, because I'm like, I'm trying my best and I just don't see it. But I know that like there's things that I needed to work on when I met him and he met me, and he was trying to help me with that. And so I would tell him, go move on, find somebody else. And it got even worse when I was pregnant. I would tell him, he would stay outside my apartment for hours just trying to get me to see and call me and have all these long conversations. And I would just shut down, not want to talk to him, blow him off. And eventually, he kept trying, but then it was just, and then what hurt the most was he was like, I thought when we had our son, everything, like we could work on things. But then when we had our son and he had all of these issues and he passed away, our relationship kind of like just diminished and we stopped talking. We only talk about our daughter, and he does help out with our daughter a lot. He helped me when we first lost our son with everything. And now it's just kind of like he's still hurting, and he texts me and calls me and tells me about those things, but then I don't want to listen or hear it, I guess, even though I know that I've done all these things. And it's so much. I could write a book on all the things that I've done.
I see, but we're gonna do just a little bit of digging. I can already hear the emotion in your voice because these are emotional things. So please understand, I'm not trying to put you on Front Street. However, these are things, this is really what I want the call-in show to be, because there are so many women that have these experiences, whether they're currently going through them or this is past experience or whatever the case. And each thing can be learned from. Sometimes you can learn while you in the lesson, and sometimes the lesson has to be over and then you learn it afterwards, and it may be hurtful to do that, but a lesson must be learned nonetheless. So the question that I want to ask was, how long were you all together before you lost your son?
4 years.
Okay, so this just happened in past October, right?
Yes.
You said, oh, wow.
Yes.
How long have you been living apart, baby?
We've been living apart most of our relationship. I ended up moving to the same city that he's in, so we're literally 6 minutes apart, but we've been apart because we've had all these issues. It's been up and down the whole 4 years. Yeah.
How long did it take for you guys to get married after between y'all meeting? Was it a year? Was it 2 years? How long was it courting?
Probably about 8 months.
8 months. Okay.
Yeah.
8 months, and then y'all got married. Okay.
Mhm.
And within that 8 months, were you starting to have these little precursors to the issues, or was it sort of smooth sailing?
Yeah, it was it was
Watch the baby,
because in the beginning,
she climbing behind you. Watch.
hey. So the whole time it has been up and down, rocky, just because like he has a standard that I was not accustomed to and was trying to meet, and I was failing at that, and I would come, because I was failing at it, I would come at him sideways and throwing shots and jabs at him, and yeah, I just was not in the best space.
You didn't know how to interact with him. You didn't know how to communicate with him.
Correct.
And I'm saying that as a reason and not as an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you this before we go further. Do you think that there is even a remote possibility that y'all can work on things and actually get back together?
I don't know. I know I put him through so much for these 4 years. And when I think about it, and I feel ashamed. Like I feel like I should be alone for the rest of my life, really, because I did not take what the Most High has given me and cultivated it and worked on it. And it's hard for me. I don't know why. Like I do know my issues, but then I don't know how to, when I'm in that situation with him or communicating with him, how to soothe the hurt that I've caused him and not cause more or not address it, I guess. So I really don't know.
Did y'all receive any sort of like marriage counseling before marriage or after?
He wasn't about that because he believed the Most High is our counselor, really.
Like even a spiritual counselor?
No.
Because y'all need it.
Mm-hmm.
Therapy is needed after the death of a child. Therapy is needed for the couple because y'all have to work through that pain. It's not something that can just be tamped down and you just kind of move through it. That is a heavy loss for both of you. He lost his baby and you lost your baby. You lost y'all babies. That the baby passed. That was a baby y'all wanted. This is a baby in matrimony. That's heavy. Francine, I need you to take. I need you to take that moment that you need to understand that. The heaviness of the loss. I don't mean just the crying and the grief. I know you did that or doing that. I know that much. But I also know it's necessary and difficult to step back from it just a little bit and just appreciate the fact that you allow yourself to feel that. You have a right to feel that. And he have a right to feel what he feeling with that. That can either bring a couple together or it can tear them apart, the loss of a child. Right? Let me circle away from the baby for a minute. Because y'all do need counseling for that, whether he agreed to it, acknowledge that, or what have you. There's an outlet that need for the expression of that grief and the expression of that emotion. And sometimes the two people can't do that to each other because there's too much history and there's too much. Y'all can't separate the past from the event of we lost our child. And yes, we still have a beautiful daughter. I don't take nothing away from her, but we did lose our child. And sometimes the mother and the father, they can't talk to each other about it. It's not because they're mad at each other, or it's not because they don't want to talk to each other about it. But especially in a situation like this where there was some contention anyways in the marriage, sometimes we are not able to compartmentalize the hurt that we see with each other and take that out the picture and then just talk about it. Because even if there is no like conventional therapist, a mediator, somebody gotta hear it because it's gonna come out. Can't hold the emotion in. And I know men like to try to be stoic and things of that nature, but they hurt just as deeply as we do. They just don't express it the way that we do. And so he may not be receptive to that understanding right now because he's still kind of relatively a young man too. Because if y'all got together and he was 31 and it's only been 4 years, he's just 35. He ain't even 40 yet. So it's some things he don't really understand yet either. Because he's still a young man and you a young woman. And you say you was a virgin when you got with him. That's a special tie that you have with a man. Here's the other thing, and I'm not a therapist. I'm not a licensed anybody. But I have been where you were at just around your age. The ugly girl. Right? Because you don't think that you're pretty enough to get the proper treatment and attention. You don't think that the man you got really wants you. Because how could he want you? How could this man that see all of these wonderful qualities in and he sexy to us and attractive to us and and you know, because you know them skate dudes be smooth now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dudes now they smooth on them skates and they smooth with that mouthpiece 9 times out of 10. And then the skates making them sexy. You know what I'm saying? They be on it, you be like, oh man, you know, what is he doing? And I've never been in skate culture, so I know nothing about it. I just the visual, going off the visuals. And so we sometimes think, how could this man want what he want with me? That's why you were able to say out of your mouth, go move on, but didn't feel it in your heart. And when he did, it hurt you because that's not what you really want. You want him to want you. So whether he's receptive to any therapy or not, I would encourage you to seek some, whether that be from a spiritual standpoint, getting someone spiritual that you trust, you know, that is in the Word of God, or what have you, or something, because you need something that's going to help you see yourself in a different way. You're not ugly, beloved. let me just tell you that there's nothing ugly about you, Miss Francine.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay? There's nothing ugly about you. And I feel that because I went through that. I went through a lot of times crying and not feeling worthy
Mm-hmm.
of love. Let's just be real. Don't feel worthy of no love. And so what happens sometime with us when we don't feel worthy, this is the trap of low self-esteem and not feeling worthy. We self-sabotage situations that would have been good for us because we don't think we deserve good. You don't think you deserve him. So you did everything in your power to sabotage it, whether you meant to or not. So you that's why you couldn't get it together, was because that was coming from you. And I'm saying that not as a way that you intended to hurt him, because it probably hurt you that he hurt, but you are hurting. You hurt you. And what you didn't realize was that the knife had two edges. While you was hurting yourself with it, you was hurting him with it too. Your low self-esteem hurts you, but it hurts him because he chose you. So he chose you for a reason. After 8 months, he saw qualities in you. Beloved, men don't do that. Men don't do that. That's less than a year. He loved you. He loved you, not some image of some woman somewhere else. There was qualities in you. The virgin was probably a big one. And just that, because there's a level of innocence there. There's a level of purity. He wanted to mold you into the wife he needed to be because you were in a position to be molded. You're still in a position to be molded, actually. You're still there. I didn't hear anything that in this short conversation that we've had that disqualified you from that. So I would bet that you're still in that position and you're actually coming to a place where you recognize the mistakes that you made up until this point. It takes courage to take accountability and say, no, it was me. These are the mistakes that I did, without throwing him under the bus. Oh, horrible. He did this, so I did this. He did this, so this is how I reacted. Just nope. I was doing stuff and I shouldn't have been doing those things. And this is why I got the result that I got. That's true accountability. So what you're doing is you have self-reflecting. Looking, hindsight is always 2020. We can always see clearly once something is done.
Right.
And you've discovered what those oversights and issues have been. Now the last step is to gain some foresight, to use what you're learning about what mistakes you've made, missteps you've made, things you may have said, things that you may have done that would damage the relationship from your end. Excuse me. That way you can come to some understanding of how to repair it. Usually the answer is in the question or the answer is in the problem, right? The answer is in the problem. So the first step, I'm telling you this from experience. Ain't telling you what she know, not what she heard.
Okay.
You must address your self-esteem issues. Look in the mirror every day, Miss Francine. Don't let the day run you where you don't put on your nice clothes and don't let your day run you, because the days will run us. Right? We'll get up and we just get to the work and we'll get to the house stuff and we'll get to the kids and we will neglect ourselves. And when we have self-esteem issues and self-image issues, we don't mind neglecting ourselves. But I will tell you this, you cannot give your husband love that you don't have for you. You cannot give him that. That is a broken love. It sabotages instead of heals. It breaks instead of repair. This is why your relationship is where it's at. You gotta love you as much as he loves you. You gotta love as much as you pour out to your baby. You gotta have 10 times that for you. And I don't mean that in a selfish kind of, I'm the it girl. I don't mean it that way. I mean that deep inner appreciation for who Francine is. The acceptance of her flaw. She don't have to be perfect. She's never gonna be perfect. There's nothing perfect except the Most High. That's it.
Right.
Accept the flaw. Whatever flaws and shortcomings you got that can be worked on, work on them. Whatever you can't work on, hand them to the Lord. Every day, I want you to wake up earlier if you can with your baby, because sometimes that's tricky. Getting up before your babies do. That's tricky, but do the best you can.
Okay.
Even if you have to do it when they're taking a nap or something. Go in your bathroom. Go beyond your basic personal hygiene. Go beyond your showering and washing your face. Do something with your hair. I'm not calling your hair ugly. I'm saying that beautifies us. Whether you add braid, whether you don't got to add nothing to it. I was looking on YouTube at one time because them some cute twists, by the way. You can do a bang and twist out. Girl, you can have a twist out so fly. Okay. All you got to do is take you some little oil or something, put it on your tips of your fingers, twist. And then don't just leave them like that. Take a bobby. It don't take nothing but a little bobby pin. Put it up to the side. You have your twist out and to be girl. They didn't take a picture and send it to him. I swear to God, take a picture and send it to him. Okay? Put you on. May not wear makeup. I'm not a big makeup girl. But sometimes a little eyeliner, a little mascara, a little gloss to your lip. Something like that. Because I want you to look at you and see beauty. I want you to look at you and see how pretty you are.
Okay.
You need that, Miss Francine. You need it for you. You need it for the babies. You need it for your marriage. You need that. Because when you gain that, you'll find that you're not self-sabotaging your relationship anymore. You're not doing these little things and you think to yourself, why did I do that? Why did I lie about that? That wasn't worth it. Why did I do that? Because you're self-sabotaging and that is coming from self-esteem. I promise you that's where that's coming from. The first thing to address is your spirituality. Low self-esteem is rooted in your spirituality. That's probably why he didn't want you to do the skate thing so heavily and to go more closer into the word and the Lord and stuff like that, because your spiritual value needs to be cultivated so that you can love you. You need to love you in a very sincere kind of way. And then start looking at your health and things of that nature. You got your bachelor's as a registered nurse. I don't know if you still work as a nurse, do you?
Yes, I do.
So you in the health field, right? And the nursing is stressful. Unwind when you get, because you got a stressful job and then you come and the baby don't mean to be a stress, but they stressful.
Right. Yes.
Stressful because you got to see to them and see what's going on and all that kind of stuff. And you got to love them and cuddle them and you got to do everything for the babies, right? And that can be stressful even if you're doing it with love. But that don't stop it from being stressful. They tell you how if you let them. We know that. So your health, even if it ain't number 10, 15 minutes, a walk, if you have to get something and bring it into your house, a little treadmill, anything, that will release the endorphins, the dopamine, make you feel good. You feel good about you. You'll feel good when you look in the mirror and see Francine. You'll be like, well, wait a minute now. I know why he was looking. I know why I got chose, because I'm kind of fine. It took me years to look in the mirror and believe that I was beautiful inside now. It took me. Hopefully, it don't take you years, because I'm trying to get you in a position to get your husband back. Okay? That's what I'm trying to do.
I appreciate it.
Because it don't sound like to me irretrievable. I didn't hear anything that was done so egregiously that it was irretrievable. The small lies, you gotta get away from them, because what that does is degrade trust. Trust is harder to build than love. Love come easy and natural. Trust must be worked on. And you can trust somebody, and the moment they do something, that trust is broke. It's so difficult to repair, but it's not impossible as long as you didn't lie about nothing catastrophic and you'll ruin his life and all, you know what I'm saying, all that kind of stuff. That can be rectified. I'm trying to give you some hope here. That can be rectified. You know, you don't always have to talk about everything that happened in the past and feel, I want to say this right, because if you had a conversation, you got to have it, right? You got to have a conversation if you got to have it, and have it honestly with yourself and with him, right? But there's also a place that you don't want to go in that. You don't want to get into self-pity with it either. I'm so sorry. I mean, okay, once we have a conversation and we come to some resolutions, we come to some understandings, we come to whatever it is that we got to come to, I found it best practice to leave the past over there. Learn from it, get what you got to get, learn the lesson, and leave them events in the past. Because if we gonna keep on talking about them, what use is it? What we doing? Shouldn't even be talking about no stuff that happened a year ago, 2 years ago. We ain't resolved that yet. Well, what's really going on? We got to resolve that, because that should not continue to be a conversation.
Right. I think things kept coming up because I would do something else that was similar to what was done in the past. So it was hard for him to leave things in the past, because he's like, well, you're still doing these things, so you're not trying to change. Why aren't you changing? You're saying you want to change, but you're not changing. And then I'm looking at myself like, I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it comes from. Not knowing why you keep repeating the same pattern over and over and over. And although you recognize it as a destructive pattern, and you recognize it as a pattern that don't bring you happiness, it don't bring you no joy, it don't bring no peace, it don't bring no joy and peace to your husband. So why do you keep on doing it? It's coming from that place within you of not seeing and not loving and not respecting Francine. You don't respect you. So you don't respect nothing Francine do, including her marriage. That's why I'm hitting at that so hard, because once you address that, the other stuff fall in line. Don't address the symptom, address the problem. The other stuff is the symptom, the lying, even the listening to other folk about your relationship. Further note, don't confide nothing into nobody about your relationship, first of all, that don't even recognize your marriage as the marriage that it is. If they don't have enough respect for you to recognize it, and you recognize it that way, and they talking about that ain't really no marriage, this is not a person that you need to even be conversing with about your marriage at all, because they don't respect it. And in low key, you don't need to be talking to them at all, because they don't respect you. That's your decision. That's your life. They ain't living your life.
Right.
So they go to them about what's a marriage and what ain't. To you, that's your decision with your husband. I recognize spiritual marriages as marriages as long as you went in front of somebody and do somebody that you married, right? So that's that. If you and your husband see you as married, and the community, y'all spiritual community, see y'all as married, y'all married. It is what it is. But so that's a tip there. And even sometimes married women, just be real careful about who you share details with about your personal life, because sometimes people are not who they portray themselves to be, and they are not who you think that they are, and they give you information, and sometimes it's information to undermine you, just like they gave you information to undermine his authority, his SOS, and you as his wife. Do not engage other people in your marriage unless it is absolutely necessary. Because sometimes you do need an outlet. You don't want to vent. You can't vent everything to your husband. No way. You absolutely cannot. I don't care what nobody say. You cannot tell your husband your every thought. You can't. We women, we have all kind of crazy stuff go through our head, baby. Don't let it be that time of the month. We be crazy. You cannot tell your husband all them thoughts. You can't do that. So sometimes you do got to have somebody that you vented to, but you got to be careful about that. And who that is. You have to pick that person carefully. So
Absolutely.
I don't know if I got nothing else for you right now, but I'm gonna let you have the last word, Miss Francine.
I definitely appreciate everything that you said. I watch all your videos if I can. Some I have missed, but every time I feel like the biggest hyena. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did that. I'm doing that. Like I taken those things, but I still was. He got to the point where he was like, "Why are you still watching her if you ain't gonna take her advice?" And yeah, I appreciate you so much. I am working on myself and trying to get myself to, because I do want to be a wife and I do want to be a mother and I want to have more children with him. I don't want to have multiple baby daddies, and I never saw that for myself. And I, I, I want it to be him, but I also understand the hurt that I've caused him too. So I just wanted to come on here because I wanted other young women to see, that I mean, I didn't get to divulge everything, but I know that if somebody could take some piece out of it, just listen to the man. That's really what it comes down to. He's going to tell you what he wants for you as his wife, as long as it's the right man. And um, I really thank you for all your help. I do want to go, and I think I'm going to get the counseling, at least for myself, and just try to continue to build the pieces in between him and I, and hope that the Most High will bless us with a marriage, and if not, that He would bless him at least with someone who can be that person that he needs him to be, that helpmate. Um, so I really thank you.
You
I thank you what you're doing for the community.
No problem. I appreciate it. But I got one more question to ask.
Mm-hmm.
In all of y'all conversations as of late, last few months, have you ever called him and just apologized for some of the things that you've done?
No. I mean, when he tells me about things, I do say like things that's on his mind that I will apologize for, because I know that I'm bringing him into space, because now we have to put our daughter in daycare and he never wanted that. And so now that takes out of both of our money, and it's just a whole bunch of things that, and so I don't really call him apologizing.
Call him at some point. I ain't gonna tell you when, because I can't tell you when.
Mm-hmm.
Call your husband and tell him. You have to think about what you apologizing for, and don't say you sorry. Say you apologizing. It's a difference. And even if you have to write out what you're apologizing for specifically, call him whenever you can, or it's convenient, or sometimes you got to get the courage to do it, but don't let it be too long.
Absolutely.
And say those things. He may need to hear them without prompting you first for it. He may need to hear. They go a long way from people that you love and that you care about.
Mm-hmm.
And he still care about you, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Fight for your husband. It don't gotta be a used to. We was. People's relationships go through ups and downs. Sometimes they go through separations. It sounds apologize to him. And you ain't gotta, don't look for nothing. Don't look for whatever reaction he have it. If he don't have one, that's fine too. Don't think that that's a rejection if he doesn't have a reaction, or if he doesn't really say anything. But it can just say it because that it needs to be said, not to get a reaction from him, because he may or may not. But even if he does have a reaction, it might be delayed. When he figures out what he want to say in response to that, it might not be immediate. But I would advise just taking that first step. Okay. All right then, Miss Francine. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
and being candid with us. And I'm
Absolutely.
praying for you, sweetie.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.
And we are just going to take one more because I'm going to have to go. But hey, Antonio, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going? I'm not even gonna lie though. I thought like low key, I thought you wouldn't take me because I know it was like basically for women. So it's like you feel me. Well, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. What you got for us today?
So I'm gonna make this relatively short. First off, I appreciate you for your channel. Your channel has kind of like um opened my eyes to a lot of things, especially when it comes to women. And I have a couple questions for you because like as in terms of like my life and like my relationships, um I just want to have a couple questions. Maybe I can get some guidance from like particularly a woman versus a male. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So first question is that what is the number one thing that a hyena will look for in a guy that allows not to be controlled?
Rephrase that because I don't think I understand your question.
Okay, so what I mean by that is that like okay, put yourself in the shoes of like a hyena, right?
We'll try.
Okay. And let's just say you're looking for a certain guy that allows you to go to parties, you know what I'm saying, act crazy. Let's just say that hypothetically, right?
Mhm.
What would so I'm saying though, if I'm like if you're a woman though, what would that trait be? And I'm asking that because as a person who has attracted a lot of those type of women in my life, what would be the number one trait that like that you would see in that guy that says, hey, he attracts that sort of type of person into his to his life.
Well, I'll say this. You see, because you kind of got to understand that hyenas don't think like lionesses, right?
Right.
Hyenas do want lions. They look for lions. They look for men who got themselves together. They look for men who got their life together. They look for men with the strongest system, order, and structures. They look for men with things going for themselves, handsome men, attractive men, men who can attract other people, other men who can attract money, men who attract knowledge, men who attract success. See hyenas look for those men. They looking for the same men lionesses are looking for. They just ain't gonna treat them the same way. They look for those men specifically because those men give them the stability that they want as a female. The thing about it is they'll go for those men with the idea that they'll be able to eventually soften that man and change him and get him to let them do what they want to do, if that makes sense.
So it sounds
Be-
like a lot like a lack of boundaries, correct?
yeah, they don't want you. They want the man with all the boundaries. It's just that they want you to not apply the boundary to them specifically
Gotcha.
in your life. Because there are plenty of men who will let them do what they want, but those are the guys that may not necessarily be the most structured men or the most driven men or what. Because a male hyena let you do whatever. He ain't really got a whole lot of system, order, and structure. He chaotic too. And they usually got good sex, just like these hoes usually have good sex, but you don't want to have them as a wife, right? So the male hyena is the same. He's the same way. The hyenas already have access to them. They don't want them for long term for the same reason lions don't want hoes for long term.
Right.
Because she's good for a good time, but not a long time. Like you might hit it, but she don't have none of the after you get out the bed, she don't got none of what you really want that's really gonna help you in terms of if you put her in the wife slot, like she's gonna ruin that. Same thing with male hyenas. Male hyenas is the exact same way. So even if you see a woman dealing with him, she already know he ain't gonna give her what a lion would give her. Now he'd give her a good D and all that. I mean, but yeah, after that, then what? Like he's just as chaotic and argumentative as she is. She's approaching it from a negative standpoint. She wants the stability, but she doesn't want the boundary applied to her. She also kind of just wants somebody to argue with, because if she meets a man that has good system, order, and structure and all of that, soon as he tell her something to do, she gonna say no
Okay.
because she like doing it. See, you can't add too much logic to that. You can't think too hard on that one.
Okay.
She's doing it because she like to do that.
Okay.
Period. Point blank. It ain't nothing else going on. She like to argue. She wants the chaos of dealing with the male hyena because it's fun to her. Chaos is fun to her. But structured men don't like chaos. They basically want it all and can't have it. Structured men don't like that kind of chaos, but she will create it. She will create it out of his structure. When he told me to do such stuff, that's what we getting controlling from. And he was controlling because he just wanted me to do. And it come to find out, it's just simple, basic system or structure that he wanted. He didn't want nothing astronomical, but she's looking for a point of argument, a place to make chaos, a place to make problems, because that's exciting for her. You're boring, and not because you're boring. Boring means he doesn't argue with me. He don't. We get up in the morning and all of a sudden, every 2 weeks, because hyenas argue on a schedule.
Okay.
I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah. I've definitely noticed that with a couple relationships. They definitely do that.
It can be anywhere from a couple of days to a couple of weeks. Every few days, she'd be all right, and everything look like going smooth, and then all of a sudden it'd be a problem. And you trying to figure out where that problem come from, because she made it out of thin air. That's where the problem came from her. And so she's going to present it like it came from you.
Right.
Right. So if you find yourself attracting hyenas to you, that doesn't necessarily mean you're not a lion, unless lionesses never come to you. Now, see, that's when you got to watch it. If lionesses avoid you, not if hyenas are attracted, because hyenas are attracted to anything with a penis. Lionesses are attracted to lions in a real sense. So if you find yourself in a situation where not only are hyenas attracted, but lionesses avoid, that's where you kind of got to do a little bit introspection. Well, what part of me is doing that? Because if you take a look at yourself according to, and this is why I do the 10 life values, just to use it as a measuring stick.
Mm-hmm.
According to that, which part of those values do I need shoring up on? Because I'm going to tell you something. Lionesses will avoid, I'm going to help you from a lioness's standpoint. Lionesses will avoid men that we think are simps. I'm not calling you a simp. Men that we think are simps. Men that we think will bend to whatever our will is. We don't like that. Lionesses don't like that because we absolutely need the order of a lion. We cannot function without it. So if we think that he will leave his order in preference for something that we want, we don't necessarily like that. Doesn't make him a bad person. It just make us hard. It's hard to follow him because he will not stick to his guns when he needs to, because lionesses are still women. And so we will still bring a certain amount of chaos. We will still do that. And what we need is a lion that he don't care about that chaos. His structure is his structure. We're going to fall in line, and we don't need a heavy hand from him to make us do it. We will understand that I'm in chaos right now. Let me calm down, because we can't help it. We women, we gonna do it.
Okay.
We lionesses can't help it either. The only difference really between a lioness and a hyena in that scope is that when a man reasserts his order, a hyena gonna argue with him further about it and buck the system, and a lioness is gonna put her head down and say, "Okay, I'm sorry, I won't do that no more. We can move on from that." And she will. She'll move on from that. She'll bring herself under your order willingly. It's not an argument. We
Okay.
don't do a whole bunch of argument about that. Not about that. We don't do that. Another thing that lionesses that'll make a lioness sort of kind of maybe I don't know about this guy. It's usually within the order. It's usually somewhere in his leadership, somewhere in his system, order, and structure. We sound like I don't know if I can follow it. It may not even be weak or bad. It's just sometimes we can't follow what this man has made his life about because we don't have any intention of turning you from where you want to be. We just want to know, can we help you? Can we do that? Can we support? And can we always do that from a loving, honest place? And if we can't do that with you particularly, then we'll just sort of be like, okay, well, I'm sorry. We'll phase out your life quietly. I've done it myself a couple of times. Just phase out quietly. Ain't got to make no big ruckus. Just you ain't gotta down the man and nothing like that. You're not being mean to him or anything. If it called for a conversation to have about it, then we had that conversation and that's it. But those are really the key things that make lionesses sort of back up from that. We like the balance between stern. We like, let me put it in short. We like being benevolent dictators. Lionesses like benevolent dictators. We like men who run dictatorships. But he's nice enough to listen to what we have to say.
So kind of like a what's that what is that government called? I think it's in Europe. It's not a democracy, but I think that's what I'm saying. I think London has it, and like some governments in Europe has it. I forgot what it's called.
Monarchy?
Yeah, monarchy. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
A dictatorship. The monarchy is a benevolent dictatorship. It's a dictatorship. That's what lioness is like. We like benevolent dictators. We like men who, as the young folks say, stand on business. Okay, he's standing on business. I mean, you can run up against that brick wall if you want to, but he's standing on business. I don't know what you're doing. We like that, but we like him nice enough to consider our femininity and consider the fact that we're women and we go through stuff and consider our insights and things of that nature. He's got the iron fist and a velvet glove.
Okay.
Like
So would it be okay? Like when you say like um the order and structure, because like I've gotten like mixed. Like I've watched a lot of videos, but the order and structure, are you in terms like the career and then are you talking about the career or like the spiritual side, right? Because like it's kind of like, is it like
I'm
kind of
talking about him as a man, his
okay,
whole life in its entirety, not
got
just his financial standing or his professional standing or anything like that. Because a lioness will follow a lion that don't have that stuff. But who he is, and that would be located in the spiritual value. Who he is as a man, how he structures things, his problem solving skills. That's another one. Lionesses love good problem solver because we got problems just like every other women that somehow in the history of humankind we ain't figured out. Only men can figure out. So we like problem solving and things of that nature. So when I say system, order, and structure, I don't just mean who he is in finances and things like that, because that actually will turn a lioness off. And I'm not accusing you of it, but just in general for the men listening, leading with your wallet will make a lioness turn her nose up. We do not like that because we think you're trying to buy us. And we can't be bought. We think you're treating us as a transaction and a whore. And I personally get offended. I don't know if other lionesses do. I get offended. I don't want no man leading with his money. Well, I got such and such and such. But what that mean to me? What, you trying to buy me? Trying to pay me off? What you
Yeah.
think I'm one of these little hoes around here? Get away from me. Because you already showing me you don't value me. You trying to pay me to do what? Hoes get paid. We're not doing that. So men that lead with your wallet, you'll never come across a lioness. We don't like that. Hyenas you will attract. They will come to you in droves because you shaking the money around. Lionesses do not like that at all. We think that you're trying to buy us and treat us like whores, and we don't like that. So we feel like you can't see the value in us as lionesses, and we will fade out of your life.
All right, all right. So, I think you kind of answered already my second question, though, but I'm gonna go ahead and just throw it out there anyway. What kind of men are hyenas attracted to?
Anyone with a penis hard enough to screw her, and
Okay,
he attractive enough. I'm telling you, they don't. They say they have standards, but they don't.
okay, okay.
What's the man she attracted to? Cause she'll break her back over a man that's sleeping on her couch and ain't got nothing. He ain't got to have nothing. He ain't got to be nobody. She don't care. She'll do the same thing with another man. He just may happen to have more, as long as she like him. All that she worried about is if her coochie like him or not.
Yeah, yeah. But all right, I don't want to take too much of your time. I know there's probably another woman that's after me though. But I appreciate you for your advice. Here I'll turn my camera on real quick though. Took some notes.
Oh, okay, good.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. So I appreciate your advice. So I'm gonna go ahead and get going though. But thank you.
All right, you welcome. All
Uh,
right. Have a good one.
all right.
All right. So that was it for the call-in show. I'm sorry I made y'all wait so long for the actual call-in portion. I swear to you, I forgot that we were supposed to be doing that. I'm sorry about that. But Bella said I'm giving away more like that. She ain't been feeling the secrets. She ain't been feeling them secrets, boy. Bella been like, well, I've been seeing a couple of comments today. Bella was like, wait a minute. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Skitty Boys at Crimson delivering the cure. Thank you, Okitomis at Francine. For real, remind me of my mom big time. Her name is Fran too. Don't forget the mortality rate of the past. Y'all can persevere. Go get your man, sis. The real books. Thank you to Auntie's encouragement, not sabotaging young women. Yeah, we ain't jealous of young women over here. But thank you all. Okay, we definitely gonna wrap this up. So jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, the Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye bye, Crimsonites.